AP Calculus exams. AP Calculus. This session will be useful for AP Calculus AB exams. Before we start with the concept, we'll understand first. In the beginning, we'll learn about calculus prerequisites. We start with chapter 2. Okay, calculus prerequisites. In this chapter, we'll be learning the basics of understanding of calculus so that our fundamentals are clear, right? So today we'll start with that. Have a look at example 1. It says gx is x square minus 2x plus 9. We have to evaluate g4 and g minus 3. So calculating g4 means to find the value of gx when x is 4. G4 means when x is 4, what is the value of the gx function? So what do we do is, in x, in place of this x, we'll throughout replace 4. So we get 4 square minus 2 times 4 plus 9. And we calculate 16 minus 8 plus 9 is 8 plus 9, which is 17. So G4 is 17. And then we find G of minus 3. So again doing the same thing, in place of x, we'll replace minus 3. So we get minus 3 whole square. Putting whole square is important. Keeping it in bracket is important. Negative 2 times minus 3 and plus 9. So minus 3 whole square means negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, which is 9. So we write 9 plus 6 plus 9, which is 24. So G minus 3 is 24. Hope this is clear, guys. Okay. Let's have a look at example 2. Question is saying, graph the piecewise defined relation and evaluate these values. So first of all, we'll graph this relation. Okay. So this relation is called piecewise relation because it has different pieces. Function hx is x square when x is less than equal to minus 1. Function hx is 2 when x value lies from negative 1 to 2. And it is 2x minus 4 when x value is greater than 3. So this kind of function is called piecewise function. Okay, fine. So first of all, we start with drawing the first function, which is x square. So basically you have to draw a function which is quadratic, basic quadratic graph. But this quadratic graph is only defined when x value is less than or equal to negative 1. Okay, so let's say when x is negative 1, after that only, before that only it is defined. So when x value is less than negative 1, it is defined, not after that. So what we'll do, after that the graph which we had drawn will erase that, because this x square is defined only for less than equal to minus 1. Okay. For second function, it is y equal to 2. Hx equal to 2 means y equal to 2. So it is just a straight line. Now we don't know where to draw the straight line at y equal to 2 because we don't know what is the coordinate of this point. So what is the coordinate of this point, guys? When x was minus 1, when x is minus 1, what is the y value? Y value was minus 1 whole square. I'm talking about the first function. which is 1. So this point is -1, 1. Okay. So now I am sure that the second function hx, which is 2, we should draw it like this. Okay. But this entire function is defined only when x is greater than 1, greater than -1 and less than equal to 2. So what we do is, we will not draw it like that. We'll just do it at greater than -1. So not at -1. When x was -1, after that only it is defined, and all the way up to 2. Where x was 2, it is defined only up to that. So I have drawn a straight line perpendicular on y-axis at 2, because the function was y equal to 2. And that was defined only from -1 to 2. It is x value is greater than -1. Okay. The third graph is again a straight line graph. The formation is y equal to 2x minus 4. Okay. Before we move on, this point is the point on the second graph. This point is 2, 2. Good. Okay. Now we want to know the third graph is how to draw the third graph. X-intercept is when we put y as 0, we get x is equal to 2. And when we put x as 0, what do we get? 2 times 0 minus 4, which is -4. So yes, this is a straight line whose x-intercept is 2 and y-intercept is -4. Let me mark -4. So the straight line is like this. But that is only defined when x is greater than 3. So not entirely. That is only defined when x is greater than 3. So after 3 only it is defined. Okay. So let me mark 3 somewhere here. Okay. Now we want to know when x was 3, what value does this give? So y is equal to 2 times 3 minus 4, 6 minus 4, which is 2. So yes, I know that on this straight line, on the third straight line, when x was 3, when x is greater than 3, the y value is 2, right? So we start with this and we make a hollow circle, because for the third equation, the x value is not equal to 3. It has to be greater than 3. So the drawing would be something like this. After 3 only, right? And because we knew that, yes, the straight line goes like this. So yes, we have an idea. It has to extend like that, right? So fine, we'll erase rest all. Okay. So this is how the graph looks like. Please understand, guys, while drawing the first function, I drew this all the way up to the dark circle. While drawing the second function, the x value is greater than -1. So I put a hollow circle at -1 where x was -1. And x is greater than less than equal to 2. That is why I put a dark circle at 2, right? You can see. And for the third function, x is greater than 3. That is why we put a hollow circle. So this is how the graph looks like. Okay. Now we have to evaluate. Let me clear the stuffs. Now we have to evaluate the value of h minus 2. That is quite easy. Here x value is -2. So we have 3 functions. Which function should we go to? We should go to the first function, because x value is -2 they're talking about. And in the first function only x value is less than equal to -1. So we can only go into the first function because -2 lies in that category, right? So we'll just calculate h of -2 would be -2 whole square. Because -2 was lying in the first category, so we plugged into the first function, which is 4. So my answer is 4. Second question is h of -1. Now in the second part, x value is -1. So which function should we go into? We should go into the first function because x value is less than equal to -1. So all the value which is less than equal to -1 will go to the first function. So again -1 whole square would be 1. And third is h0. Okay. So in which category the x value is 0? So that is 0 in the second function. You can see the x value is lying between -1 to 2. So of course for 0 will go into the second function. And in the second function we don't have to put any value of x because that is 2 always. h0 is 2, h1 is 2. For all the x values from -1 to 2, the y value is always 2. So nothing to put in. That's my answer is 2. And then h2 we have to calculate. h2 means when x value is 2. So we'll again go to the second function only because x value is allowed up to 2. So my y value will be what? We don't have to put anything, is 2 only. h2.5. Next question. h2.5 is not at all defined because x value is 2.5, not defined in any of the function, right? The second function talks all the value less than 2 and third function talks about greater than 3. So there is no point in between greater than 2 or less than 3 which is defined under the function. So we'll say not defined. Okay, there may be the value, but it is not defined as per the function. Okay, and then is h6. h6 means when x value is 6. So when x value is 6, we'll go to the third function, and that is 2 times 6 minus 4, which is 12 minus 4, which is 8. So my answer is h6 is 8. I hope that is clear, guys. Drawing the graph is very important, and in this question we drew the graph considering the restrictions on x. Okay, we did not draw the complete graph, we drew the graph only where x is defined. Okay, fine. Hope that is clear. Thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Example 3, the question is find the range and domain and range for the relations k and h as already defined. Okay, so we'll come to that same question and we'll look at and we'll find the domain and range. So looking at the domain, you can see domain means all the values where the function is defined for x. Okay, all those x values. So you can see looking at the first part, the x value is less than equal to -1. It means from minus infinity all the way up to -1 is defined. Okay. At minus infinity, we always keep an open interval, this kind of bracket. And because x is touching -1, so we'll keep it with closed bracket, this kind of bracket. Okay. And then union means added to. And then the x value is also defined from -1, more than -1, all the way up to 2. So we'll put it like this, -1 to 2. And at 2, I close the bracket, and -1, it is an open bracket. Okay. And union all the way from 2 to 3 is not defined. It is all greater than 3. So we'll do it 3 comma infinity. At 3, you can see I have kept this kind of bracket because it is a hollow circle, right? At infinity, it is always open. So this is my domain for x. Okay, that is my domain. Okay, let's talk about range. Range means the x values where it is defined. So you can see the minimum value that is possible is 1. That is the minimum possible value. For no other value, y is less than 1. Okay. So the range is all the way more than 1. We'll see. All the way more than 1 up to 2 is possible because all these points are being covered by the respective points. Can you see that? All these points are being covered. Okay. All the y values will get some y values. And at 2 also it is defined because this is the straight line. So y2 is also possible. Is it more than 2 is possible? Yes, more than 2 is possible by this graph, by the third function. Can you see that? It will define all the y values which is more than 2. Can you see? Right. So all the y values. So the point is that the range is all the value which is greater than equal to 1 and all the way up to infinity. So I will write it 1 to infinity, at infinity open, at 1 it is closed. And in between there is no value where y is not possible. Okay. Hope that makes sense. So this is my range. Okay. Which of the relations in the preceding examples are functions? So for a relation to be a function, please understand, for a relation to be a function, same x cannot have more than one y. Okay. Same x should have unique y, you can say. Okay. Like same x value cannot have more than one y. For example, this is the domain, means this is the x value, and range means this is the y value. So for -3 we have only one y value which is 9. For 7 you can see, for 7 which is the value of x, the two y values are possible. One is -1 and one is 14. Because of this does not stay as a function. For any relation to be a function, same x value should not give more than one y. Okay. Again repeating, same x should have a unique y. Okay. Now because in the relation K, same x value 7 is giving two different y's. That is why relation K is not a function. Hope that is clear. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. Have a look at example 5. Explain why the relation described by the equation this is not a function. We can easily look at this question with the aspect of the graphing. So if you understand, this is actually the equation of a circle. This is a circle equation with the center 0, 0 and radius is r. Okay. Any circle equation with the center 0, 0, radius r is x square plus y square equal to r square. So for sure this is a equation of a circle whose radius is 3, because 9 means 3 square. So radius is 3. Okay. So yes, there is a circle here, complete circle here whose radius is 3. So this point is 3, 0, you can say. And this point is 0, 3. And this point is -3, 0. And this point is 0, -3. Anyway, now the point is that this is not a function. Why? Because for the same x there are two y's, if you can understand. Let's say for this x value you have this y as well as this y. Can you see that? For the same x, you have two y's. Let's say this x is 2 here, right? So here you have a different y and here you have a different y, correct? At point A, the y is positive and at point B, the y value is negative, right? So it is not a function. Why it is not a function? Because the same x value, which is 2, is giving us different y values. Okay. We can do this question without having an understanding of the graphing. What you can do is, you can just take any particular value of x and plug into the equation. So I am putting x is equal to 2. Okay. See, what do I get? I get 2 square plus y square equal to 9, which is 4 plus y square equal to 9. I am trying to find the y value and let's see what happens. So y square equal to 9 minus 4, which is 5. So y square is 5. So y value is what? Positive negative of square root of 5. So yes, we have got two values of y, which is positive root 5 and negative root 5. For that same x equal to 2. For this reason only, this is not a function. Again repeating, for any relation to be a function, same x should give unique y. Okay, let's move on. Before we move on, let's have a good understanding of the basic graphs that you should always know. Okay. Because that will be frequently used. Standard x square graph looks like this. Y equal to x square graph looks like this. And domain is minus infinity to infinity because this graph covers all the x values when it goes all the way from minus infinity to positive infinity. Okay. So that is why domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. We can also say domain is all real values, capital R. And range is 0 to infinity because the minimum possible value is 0 and all the way up to the unlimited highest value. Okay. So 0 to infinity all the way up to up. Okay. So 0 to infinity is the range. Okay. Standard y equal to x cube function looks like this, that you have to understand and memorize. That is quite easy also. Try to understand when x is positive, if you put x as a positive value, y will always give you a positive result. If you put x as a negative value, y will always give you a negative result. So when x was positive, you will always get a positive y. And when x was negative, you will always get a negative y. That is why it will go into the first and third quadrant, the graph. Okay, and it looks like this. So you should remember this graph. And domain is all real values because it keeps on going on the left and keeps on going on the right. And range is also all real values because it keeps on going down and it keeps on going up. So all real values is the range and all real values is the domain. Okay. Looking at y equal to x, this is the standard straight line graph. Y equal to x is a line passing through the bisecting the first and the third quadrant. That's quite easy to understand. When x is 1, y is also 1. So basically it passes through the point 1 comma 1. Right? When x is 2, y is also 2. Depending on the straight line, y is equal to x now. So it passes through the point 2 comma 2. Okay. When x is negative 1, y is also negative 1. So it passes through the point negative 1 comma negative 1, which is the third quadrant. So anyway, the straight line looks like this. Okay. And as you can see, the domain is all real values and range is also all real values. Fine. Looking at the square root graph, this is very important. Y equal to positive square root of x. It is the positive square root of x. So it will only be this part. It will not go down and like this. No. Right? So it is a positive square root of x. So it will only be like this. And you can see the x values are possible only from 0 to infinity. And y value, which is range, is also 0 to infinity. Okay. This graph is a rational function y equal to 1 over x. This rational function looks like this. You can see on the screen. And as you can see, the x values are all defined from negative infinity to positive infinity. The only point where it is not defined is at 0. At 0, the function is not defined. Okay. So basically, domain is all the value from minus infinity to 0 open and 0 open to infinity. Right? Because the graph at the graph, x value is not 0. Because when x value becomes 0, you get 1 over 0, which is not defined. Okay. So domain is all real values except 0. The same is for range. Range is also all real values except 0. This graph you can see is an absolute value function. This is the standard absolute value function. And you can see the domain it is going all the way to the left and all the way to the right. And range is all the way from 0 to infinity. Minimum value is 0 and it keeps on going up and up. So that is the range. And look at these all functions are important in respect of AP calculus exams. lnx graph looks like this. It gets closer and closer to y-axis but never touches y-axis. So basically y-axis is an asymptote for the ln graph, vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote is y-axis for the standard lnx function. Okay. You can see the domain is all the value from 0 to infinity, 0 open interval, and range is negative infinity to infinity everything because it keeps on going up and up and up. Okay. So that is the range. And the x-intercept is it cuts x-axis at the point 1 comma 0. That is very easy to understand. If you want to find the x-intercept, what do you do? To find the x-intercept, we put y as 0. So we get 0 equal to ln x. And when I convert this to the exponential form, I will get e to the power 0 is equal to x. Right now, I'm not teaching logarithm. So I'm just explaining how to find the x-intercept. And e to the power 0 is 1. That is why the x value is 1. So this point is 1 comma 0. Good. This graph is y equal to e to the power x. So it is a standard exponential graph. This graph gets closer and closer to x-axis, but it doesn't touch x-axis. Okay. On the screen it does not show, but exponential graph doesn't touch x-axis. Standard exponential graph. You can see, and because it doesn't touch x-axis, it means you can say x-axis is the horizontal asymptote for the standard exponential graph. And domain is minus infinity to infinity. It is going all the way to the left and all the way up to the right. So domain is all real values. And range is 0 to infinity, 0 open interval, because it doesn't touch x-axis. So the y value is always greater than 0. So 0 to infinity, all the way 0 to infinity. It doesn't touch 0. And it contains the point 0 comma 1. As you can see on the graph, it cuts y-axis at some point, and that point is 0 comma 1. Now how do you find y-intercept on any function? You put x value as 0. So what do you get? You get y equal to e to the power 0, which is 1. So basically it cuts y-axis at 1. The last function you can see is the greatest integer function. So greatest integer means Let me explain you. Uh, let's say 5.7. 5.7 greatest integer is the first integer which is greatest and is less than 5.7. The first greatest integer is 5. So greatest integer of 5.7 is 5. The first greatest integer which is less than 5.7 is 5. Similarly, greatest integer 5.9 is also 5. Greatest integer 5.9999 is also 5. Right? Greatest integer of 5.0001 is also 5. Greatest integer of 5 is also 5. Greatest integer of 4.9999 is not 5, it is 4, because less than 4.999, what is the first greatest integer possible? That is 4, right? So with this understanding, you can see that when x values are all the way from 5.9 to 5, the y value is 5. Okay. So with that understanding, you can see, if I look at this part of the graph, this point is 1 and this point is 2. So when x value is all the way from 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, whatever be those x value from 1 to 2, the y value will always be 1, right? For whatever the x value belongs from 1 to 2, the y value will be 1 only. That is why the graph looks like this. Similarly, for whatever x value belongs from 2 to 3, the y value will be 2 only, right? That is why this is the second step, you can see. Fine. So this is how greatest integer function look like. Okay. Let's do some question. Question is asking which of the following relations are function. Now, to identify if it is a function or no, there is a test called vertical line test. Let me discuss that. Vertical line test says you just draw a vertical line, and if it cuts more than once, then it will be not a function. Now, because this vertical line cuts this graph more than once, so it is not a function. I hope it is clear. Okay, let's move on to the second part, part B. This is again not a function, you can see, because it is cutting more than once, so not a function. Part C, when you do the vertical line test anywhere, this is the x-axis. So wherever do you draw the vertical line, it only cuts once. It only cuts once. Okay. So yes, it is a function. Yes, function. Hope it makes sense. Part D, when you see, you take any particular x value, let's say 1. So what y value do you get? Y equal to plus minus 2 times 1 and plus 3. Plus minus 2 times 1 is plus minus 2 and plus 3. Taking positive value plus 2 plus 3 we get 5, and taking negative value negative 2 plus 1 we get 1. So for one single x value of 1, we are getting two values of y, which is not a function, because single x should give a unique y, right? So it is not a function. Part E. Part E you look at, we'll draw the graph because this is a piecewise function. So first graph is a rational function we have learned just now. So let me draw it like this. But this graph is defined only when x value is less than 0. So the value greater than 0 is not defined under this. So we'll not draw. Good. So for the first function, this is the graph only. And then second part of the function is a square root graph, which looks like this, right? Now they are asking, is it a function? So yes, for sure it is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Wherever you draw the vertical line, it cuts only once. Can you see that? It cuts only once. So it is a function. Yes, a function. Good. Okay. Part F. It is again a piecewise function. The graph we have to draw is y equal to x square graph where x value is less than equal to 1. So this is 1. So for all the value less than equal to 1, we can draw the graph. And for the value greater than 1, we'll erase it. Good. So it is defined only up to 1. Okay. And then for second part of the function, it is a ln x graph. So ln x graph looks like this. I hope you remember it cuts x-axis at 1. And this graph is defined only for greater than equal to 1. So only for greater than equal to 1, not for less than 1. Right? So again, is it a function? Yes, it is a function because anywhere, wherever you draw the vertical line, it cuts. But please mind it. At this particular point, at 1, when you draw the vertical line, it is cutting the graph at two places. One is here, one is here, right? So it is not a function. Please understand, guys. The first function is also defined when x is 1. When x is 1, the first function is giving y equal to 1 square, which is 1. And the second function is also defined when x is 1. So when x is 1, the y value we are getting is ln 1, and ln 1 is 0, right? So this is not a function because for the same x value, we are getting two different y values, right? So it is not a function. A nice question. Yeah, so we need to be careful with the greater than and less than sign. Okay. Hope it makes sense. Have a look at number 2. fx is given, gx is given, and hx is given as fx over gx. What is the domain of h? So we have learned before the domain for any rational function means the function where we have numerator and denominator. Let me write down the hx function nicely. So hx function is fx, which is x square minus 25 over gx is x square plus 9x plus 20. So we have to find the domain of h. How do we find the domain of h? To find the domain, we make the denominator not equal to 0, right? So x square plus 9x plus 20 is not equal to 0. Because if the denominator becomes equal to 0, the function is not defined. Okay. So yes, the function is defined for all values of x except this condition. Okay. So let's find out this condition. We will factorize that. Splitting middle term, the factors of 20 will be 4 and 5. And yes, their sum will be 9. So yes, this pair is correct. X plus 4 times x plus 5 is equal to 0. So either x plus 4 is 0 or x plus 5 is 0. So x equal to negative 4 or x equal to negative 5. So yes, my domain is all real values, capital R minus these two values, negative 4 and negative 5. Fx equal to absolute value x plus 1 and gx is given this. We have to find this value. Okay. So first we find f4 value. So to find f4, we plug into x as 4. Absolute value 4 is just 4 plus 1 is 5. And then we find g3 value. G3 is 1 over 3 times 3 square plus 4, which is 1 over 27 plus 4, which is 1 over 31. And then the third part is fg0. Fg means first you will have to multiply f and g. So let's multiply f and g first. F and g means absolute value x plus 1 multiplied by 1 over 3x square plus 4. So when we multiply, we get numerator as absolute value x plus 1 over 3x square plus 4. And yes, for this function fg, we have to find where x is 0. When x is 0, we have to find the y value. So absolute value of 0 plus 1 over 3 times 0 square plus 4, which is 1 over 4. So yes, my results are 5, 1 over 31 and 1 over 4. We will do the calculation now. Have a look, please. So it is 5 minus 1 over 31 plus 1 over 4. You can do the basic calculation, not a problem. You will calculate, right? Let's have a look at number 4. Write the function m whose graph is given below. Also find the domain and range of m. So very nice question. First we'll have to write the function. You can see it is a piecewise function. So first I will find the graph of each function. So my first function is, this point is negative 0 comma negative 1 and this point is minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 comma 3 minus 3 comma 3. So the slope of this line is rise over run. I am finding the slope rise over run. From this point I rise by 1 2 3 4. So it is 4 and run is how much? Negative 3. So the slope is negative 4 over 3 basically. So yes, we can say that a straight line is y equal to mx plus b form, right? Mx plus b. So y equal to negative 4 over 3x plus b. The y-intercept is negative 1, so we can just say like this. So this is my first equation. Okay, great. Now we'll find the second equation. You can see second equation is again a straight line. Can we find the slope? We can directly find the slope. Rise over run. So rise is 1 and run is negative 2. So 1 over negative 2 is my slope for second line. So for the second line equation, we can write easily is y equal to mx, slope is minus 1 over 2x and plus y-intercept is 2. So plus 2. I know it is not going to intersect y-axis, but For the time being, we wrote like that. We'll do the calculations. We'll do the manipulation. Don't worry. And for the third graph, you can see it is just the x-axis, means it is y equal to 0. So we have these three graphs under different conditions. Now we'll put in the conditions. Let me raise the working. Okay. So now the conditions are, the function name is m. So we'll write m equal to, first function is minus 4x over 3 minus 1. This first function is defined for all the value which is less than or equal to 0, right? So we wrote x value is less than equal to 0. For the second function, the graph is minus 1 over 2x plus 2, and that is defined for all the value where x is greater than 0 and less than or equal to 2. So x value is greater than 0 and less than equal to 2. And for the third function, it is just y equal to 0. So we'll just put 0 and we'll say it is defined for all the value where x is greater than 2. So this is how we have written the piecewise function. In the second part, they are asking find the domain. So looking at the graph, you can easily tell what are the x values possible. So x values are possible all the way from less than 0 and all the way from 0 to 2 and all the way from 2 to infinity. So basically, domain is minus infinity to positive infinity, because there is no point of x which is not possible. Actually, all the x's are possible. Okay. And then the range is the y values. So which y values are possible? Minimum y value possible is -1. So range is -1 to it, the y value is being covered by all the values somehow. Okay, everywhere. Okay. So it is all the way from -1 to infinity. So the range is -1 to infinity. Hope it makes sense. Fine. Let's move on. Have a look at question number 5. It is greatest integer function m of -3. So first we'll look at the graph and we'll calculate these numbers. So m of -3 is what? M of -3 means when x is -3, this value is 0. And greatest integer 0 is what? 0. So let me write it. Let me write m -3 value is 0. And greatest integer is 0. Right? Okay. Then we find m0. m0 means what? m0 means when x value is 0, what is the y value? Right? So y value is somewhere between 3 to 4. Okay. So I have no idea from the graph. So let's put in 3.5. It's okay. Okay. Because we are not interested in this number. We are interested in the greatest integer number. So have a look, please. So greatest integer m0 is what? Greatest integer 3.5. So what is the greatest integer 3.5 value? Greatest integer 3.5 means what is the first integer which is less than 3.5? So first integer which is less than 3.5 is just 3. So my answer is 3. What is m4? So first we find what is m4. I can see m4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. m4 is somewhere minus 0.2, 0.5, negative 0.5. So the greatest integer m4 will be what? Greatest integer of minus 0.5 means what? What is the first integer which is less than minus 0.5? first integer which is less than minus 0.5 is negative 1. So my answer is negative 1. Hope it makes sense. So these three values have these answers. Let me mark that with red. Question number 6 is saying graph some functions Sx such that S1 is 4 and this condition. S is increasing this and S has a domain of this. So let's try. S1 is 4 means the graph should have a point 1 comma 4 because when X is 1, Y is 4. So when X is 1, Y is 4 is this point 1 comma 4. Okay. And it has all these points also negative 2 comma 0. So negative 2 comma 0 is somewhere here, negative 2 comma 0. And it has 2 comma 0 also. It has 2 comma 0. And it has 5 comma 0 also. So this is 5 comma 0. So yes, the graph should pass through all these 4 points. And then third condition is S is increasing on minus 6 to 1. So where is X increasing from minus 6 to 1? It could be X minus 6 is somewhere here, right? So it could be a graph somewhere looking like it because it is increasing all the way from there. So it is increasing all the way from there to there. So it has to be increasing from where X is minus 6 to where X is 1. So yes, this could be the graph. Okay, we don't have to find the graph function exactly. We have just to draw them. Okay, and the second condition is it is increasing where X is from 4 to 6. So from 4 to 6, from 4 to 6. So 4 is here and 6 is here. So because we have to pass through 5 also, so yes, the graph maybe look like this. It is increasing from 4 to 6. You can see, right? And then with other conditions, S has a domain of minus 6 to 6. So from minus 6 to 6, the function is to be defined all the way. So here will not stop, will make the graph return back and then like this. So by doing so, we have connected the X value from all the way from minus 6 to positive 6. And the range is from minus 2 to 4. So yes, we have to be careful about the highest value is 4 anyway, not a worry. The lowest value should not be less than negative 2. So yes, let's define this point as negative 2. Okay, so we can define that, not a worry. So because this was the lowest value, so the range is the smallest value of y is minus 2 and the highest value of y is 4. So that is my range. Under this condition, this is how the graph looks like with all these specifications. Hope it makes sense. So we end the session today here. Very soon we'll meet for the next session. Thank you.